You're watching InTechnology, a video cast where you can get smarter about cybersecurity, sustainability, and technology.
Hi, welcome to InTechnology podcast. I'm your host, Camille Morhardt. Today we're going to have a conversation about cloud security in the age of data sovereignty regulations and artificial intelligence. I have two experts with me, both from Proximus. Jonas De Troy is head of public cloud and edge at Proximus and based in Belgium. He has worked in IT for almost 2 decades. He started off very technical, dealing with Active Directory, scripting, automation, clustering, Metaframe, XenApp, virtualization, and then he became even more technical. Today he leads initiatives in data sovereignty and confidential computing at Proximus. Proximus is known for cloud security, and he's doing this all in an environment where EU regulations are demanding more and more care and knowledge when handling data, and of course in the context of ever-evolving and changing artificial intelligence. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Camille. Good evening or good morning.
Thank you. I know I'll be sipping coffee and you'll be having wine, perhaps. I also have Gwenaelle Herve, who brings over a decade of experience in IT and telecom and currently leads the public and sovereign cloud team at Proximus NXT. This is Proximus's group's subsidiary focusing on the enterprise market where she works on cloud solutions for European digital sovereignty. Welcome to the podcast, Gwen.
Thanks, Camille.
So my first question, it seems today there's 3 main themes when it comes to cloud. It's security, it's data sovereignty, and it's AI. And they're all coming together at once. And I'm wondering if you can provide some perspective on how all of those terms interrelate or affect one another.
Yeah, of course, nowadays, if you ask me, we all move to the cloud. We consume cloud as a commodity. We use cloud for everything. We use cloud for our phones. We use cloud for email. So it's logic that enterprises also start to move more and more to clouds. And that goes together with security because, of course, cloud without security, it's a no-go if you ask me. So the first link, cloud security, I think it's fairly simple and easy. We need to secure what we do on cloud. And then the link to data sovereignty, of course, moving more and more to cloud, that brings more and more data to the cloud. And then, indeed, you need regulation around sovereignty. Where is my data? Who can see my data? Where is the control of my data? All those kind of things. So there's the relationship between cloud and data sovereignty for me. And then, last but not least, nowadays we use AI models for everything. So then AI comes into the play, and how are you going to secure that data on AI level? So those are for me the links I see between clouds and the various aspects you just mentioned.
So Gwen, too, because you work with enterprise accounts, I wonder if you could give us a sense of what are enterprises worried about right now? What are some of the major undertakings that they have, and what is their focus area and risk considerations?
I think one of the main concerns, if I can express it like this, is also how will I manage to comply with regulation that are appearing on all those different areas that we just mentioned. Keep the innovating path. I think that's innovating pace. That's definitely one of the main concerns today. The strategy will need to evolve together also with the regulation, and that's also the next step there for our customers.
Maybe these concepts are on the minds of everybody, but how far along are companies in adopting data sovereignty, understanding how that interplay is going to occur, building out or understanding the infrastructure requirements that they're going to have? And then similarly for AI, it's everybody knows about AI, right? But who's actually, is it just putting an internal, oh, now I have ChatGPT for my company, so I'm an AI company? Or, who's actually thinking about it in a way that's really transformational at this point? I'm not asking for the name of the company, just what is really the status of customers who are out there right now?
If I might chime in as a spokesman of a company, so a potential customer, I would say, I think it indeed's correct what Gwen is saying. So I think many companies are still developing their strategy, their way to go. Certainly, if you look into, let's call it a bit smaller companies, I think bigger companies already have a vision, not necessarily going faster into the move, but at least they have already a vision. And if I then transfer to what we do at Proximus, we have a cloud strategy. We're now moving more and more to cloud. And of course, AI is part of that strategy. And to be fully transparent and clear, not only using ChatGPT for Proximus, so we develop more use cases and we want to do many more things with AI than only just using the ChatGPT-like functions. But I do believe that it varies depending on the size of the company as well.
And then also, I believe that one challenge that our customers are facing is the fact that today technology is going faster than a regulation, and I think that's something that makes it also more difficult to really adopt and make sure that the strategy, our customers' roadmap is really in line with both technological innovation and complying with regulation.
Can you talk? I mean, it's a lot of like complicated terminology, right? When we're talking about keys and encryption, and as it relates to data sovereignty. And is there like a simple way to explain why all of these things are necessary? I mean, attestation and encryption. What is the ultimate goal here, and why does it take so many companies and so much technology to achieve it?
The end goal is reaching real data sovereignty. So making sure that we're bringing control back to the end user / end customers. That's what we want to activate as an IT service provider. We want to make sure that our customers can benefit from real data sovereignty. For various reasons, by the way, one of them being obviously compliant with regulation.
If you were to tell customers who are not as familiar with especially the EU data sovereignty regulations, and I think there's a number of them coming into effect in 2027, what are sort of the main, if you want to say, couple of things, 2-3 things that people should be thinking about or becoming knowledgeable about?
So first of all, it's even closer than this. It's even 2024. Some of them already came into application past October, so a month ago. And then we have another one upcoming in 2025 January. So that's really even closer than 27. It's really happening right now. I think. Let's say 1 or 2 key takeaways. First one is taking the time to really identify and list up the sovereign requirements, because not all data require sovereignty, right? Some data are insensitive and they can benefit from a standard public cloud, but some data are definitely sensitive and need additional protection, and that's when it comes to adopting sovereignty, data sovereignty or digital sovereignty.
Where do you guys think that AI is headed in terms of helping with security in the cloud, or for AI itself? Ironically, I guess AI could help secure its own self.
But I think it's a rather easy answer, if I'm honest, to say where does AI help. In analyzing events, security events, AI can certainly help in analyzing those events, because AI is way much better in analyzing than human beings, I would say. That combined with the power of Gen AI, you can ask questions to your security system, get decent responses back based on what you give. So for me, that's absolutely a use case where we can leverage AI for security reasons and to help in security.
What do you guys worry about? Like, what is keeping you up at night in this space?
Yeah, sometimes many things, because of course AI needs data. Your data needs to transfer to it. You need to give away data. So keeping control of it and ensuring that that you see you keep the overview in case of a breach. Because imagine that there is a breach, then you always need to know which data was breached. So data qualification, I'm coming back to that one as well, like Gwen mentioned, is really crucial in all this. So we need to ensure that we can have a correct data qualification and ensure that we know which data resides where. And then I want to come back on the various levels of data. Some of them might not require sovereignty or sovereign controls, but it's complex. It's complex to make the division to say, okay, which data is sovereign required, which one not. So that's all those things that are things that keep me kind of awake sometimes. Yes.
How about you, Gwen?
I think on my side, it's more making sure that we can really build up the right solution for our customers, helping them grow and really making sure that they can innovate to with the right speed. So either by using sovereignty or either using sovereign AI, the most important part is really to make sure that that we can give them all the tools that they require to do and to be able to create what they need to create.
It seems like there's been a major shift to the cloud, especially kind of in COVID, post-COVID, giant transfer to cloud. And now, there's a lot of regulations in the cloud coming up. And there's AI that can do process inferencing and whatnot at the edge. Are you seeing like a pendulum swing back to kind of on-premise? Are you seeing people interested in hybrid models? Are you not seeing any slow to the cloud? Everything's growing. Like, what is the overall landscape looking like now?
Multi-cloud is definitely a trend on the public side, I would say, and then definitely hybrid as well. I mean, no, it's even difficult to answer your question. I think that all clouds are actually used and are here to stay. To each workload, there will be a cloud that can match the initial need. So I don't expect a shift. Especially or a shift back to on-prem. I expect that customers will be more careful and make careful, if I can say it like this, but will make sure that they can select for the right workload the right cloud. That's more what we see happening.
To complement on that, I agree there. I agree that it's per use case selection that needs to be available. So not pinpointing to only one cloud, but at least offer certainly parts on public clouds, but also parts on private clouds. So the on-prem clouds. In any case, I do believe in a hybrid world. What is difficult, of course, is to put numbers on it. How many percent will move to public? How many percent will stay? I don't think it makes much sense to pinpoint on numbers, but I do believe you need them all as a company.
What do you think that people should be thinking about when it comes to their data or the data that they're collecting to inform their decisions that they might not have thought of right now?
Yeah, in any case, I think data qualification, ensuring that you know which kind of data qualifies to what level within your company. So have a data qualification strategy goes together with that, I do believe. And then put out the correct measurements for each category. And on public cloud, I would certainly say go and look to everything related to confidential compute to ensure that you also protect the data that is the so-called data in use protection. So I think that's in any case one of the emerging technologies that we see within the cloud landscape.
Okay, well, Jonas De Troy and Gwenaelle Herve, thank you very much, both from Proximus. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Camille.
Never miss an episode of InTechnology by following us here on YouTube or wherever you get your audio podcasts.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the guests and author and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Intel Corporation.